Before going to today's session, let me introduce myself. I'm Dr. Mamman Joseph C., Assistant Professor at Department of Applied Psychology, Central University of Tamil Nadu. So today's session is on behavior management. So before going to the session, I just want to recollect and share a recent WhatsApp video which I have seen last week. It was very interesting for me. I think it may be interesting for you too. Let us see. So in the WhatsApp video, a teacher like us is trying to connect with his students for online classes. For that he is sending a link to all the students, but none of the students are showing any interest to the online class. After some time, the students are receiving another message in that some gossip is they are related to a film star, but the news or the gossip is incomplete. It's not complete. So in order to get the complete picture, it's given that you need to click the link given below. So since it is a gossip, definitely human beings have that inquisitive nature. They are very curious. So with the curiosity, they all click the link below. So they all are redirected to an online class which they are supposed to attend. I really wanted, by the fascinating creativity of the teacher, how nicely, how effectively he managed the behavior of the students. So creativity is such a powerful tool or powerful instrument to manage or to regulate the behavior of ourselves as well as someone else. So a teacher, whether it is in a conventional setting or in an online setting, a teacher who is creative, they can maintain or they can regulate and manage the behavior of the students very well. Can we regulate our behavior? Can we regulate the behavior of the students? Can we regulate the behavior of someone? If you are asking me the questions, my answer is yes. Yes, we can. Provided certain conditions are there. So as a psychologist, I strongly believe that we all, each and every human being, from a small infant to an elderly person, is able to manage the behavior or is able to regulate and modify the behavior provided two conditions. Either they have to be interested in something, and in order to get that or in order to know that things of interest, they have to manage or modify their behavior. The second thing is motivation. They have to know that by doing this or that or by modifying my behavior, I may get some benefit. So as a teacher, if we are able to create interest or if we are able to motivate the students, definitely it will be very easy for us to manage the behavior of the student in a positive way. So how can we do that? So here I am also not an expert in all these things, but with my expertise and experience, I can share a few things with you. If it is useful, you can make use of it for your online classes too. So the first thing, both the teacher as well as the student in most of the cases at present, they are novice or new to online teaching learning process. Even though few of us may be very expert in this, few of us may have some experience in this, majority of the faculty members as well as majority of the students, they are new to online teaching learning process. So definitely if something which is new, something which is novel, something which we may have very limited information or very limited command over it, definitely anxiety may arise. So when you are going to conduct an online class, if you want to manage the behavior, first you need to have a cordial relationship with your students. So the initial session or the first session or the initial 1 or 2 or 3 sessions, if you have sufficient time, you need to spend for establishing a kind of rapport, establishing a kind of warm relationship, cordial relationship with your students. You need to know your students and they need to know you. So this is one of the key points to manage the behavior of the students. Once the students are really interested with the teacher, definitely they will listen to the teacher. So even though if it is taking some of your precious time, it's better to make a kind of cordial relation with your students through various means. I will discuss a few of the ways to do that later. So establish a cordial relationship with the students and try to know the students also. It may be possible, it may not be possible, because in the case of massive open online courses, sometimes enrollment may be thousands, or some rare cases it may be lakhs too. But if you are handling your regular students, it may be limited or somewhere around or less than 50 or somewhere around 30, 35, something like that. So it may be easy for you to know some basic information about your students. That may be really good. It is better, so we all know that prevention is better than cure. So it's better some behavioral issues are happening, some kind of naughty responses are there from the students. You need to wait for something to happen to rectify it. It's better you can have some preventive steps in the beginning. In the beginning itself, you can establish your standards. You can clearly say that as a teacher, this is what I'm going to provide you. These are my expectations from you. This is how I'm going to handle the classes. This is what you are supposed to do. This is what the end result we are expecting. So this is there, I think, everywhere in the syllabus and structure when we are preparing for the convention class also. This is there in every course. Same way in the online platform also, or online class also. You can clearly give your standards. What are your expectations about them, what they are supposed to do and all. So we will call it as an announcement it can be given through one announcement or through various announcements. So before going to all these announcements, if you are okay, or if you are good with the technology, or if you are interested, you have sufficient time and all, you can have a promotional video of your class. So the promotional video usually from some 30 seconds to 2 minutes long. It's better 30 seconds to even 1 minute long promotional video. Even up to 3 minutes it's fine, not more than 3 minutes, because it may be boring for students, they may not even open. But if you're making a very attractive promotional video of your class and all, the students, they will be very much interested even before your class. So then your job is half done. Well, begin is half done. If it is not a mandatory thing, so either you can go with the promotional video, then you can ask the students to enroll for the online class, or you can directly send an email or whatever message or mode of communication you are using. Through that, you can ask the students to join for the class. Then the introductory sessions establish the standards. And in online classes, one more thing is there. So not only about the classes, what you are going to handle, how many sessions are there, what are the sessions, etc. The beginning itself, you need to give clear idea about how are you going to assess and evaluate the students. This is very important in terms of behavior management. Once someone knows how are they going to be evaluated, they are going to be assessed, definitely that itself will act as a control, and any control is managing the behavior. So you need to tell that this is what I am expecting. So maybe punctuality, timely submission of the assignments or project or whatever assigned work, or regular to the classes, regular to the chat room or discussion forum. All these things, what are the criteria for assessment that you can give. Here also the first point is there, you have to be very creative. If you are creative, you can make various points or various ways so that the students will be indirectly forced to engaged with and interacted with and be lively in the online sessions. So if it's recorded video you are sending, they can after viewing the video they can be active in discussion forums. So you plan your classes, your assessment and evaluation part in such a way that all the students will be interactive. So for interaction, this many marks. So that you announce in the beginning itself. If you are using, if it is live class, if you are using the chat boards, you are making chat or comment box, then if someone is making, they will get this much marks or this much percentage. If it is an offline mode, if you are there in the discussion forum, you are answering the queries of your peer group, or you are asking a question to peers or as well as the faculty, or you are giving some additional information. If you are engaged with, if you are lively there in the let's say after online class activity, that will be part of assessment. Definitely that will motivate the students. Whatever we are saying, students, they will look for marks and grades, etc. like that. So definitely this will motivate. But what is important, in order to manage, you need to announce your assessment and evaluation criteria in the beginning itself. So announce it. And if the students, they have any query or any confusion, anything is there, encourage them to interact with you, ask a query, post a query, etc. and you need to answer the query. And again, answering the queries or answering or being active in the discussion forum is very important to maintain a good cordial teacher-student relationship in the online form. So that also you can say that if you are posting something, I may respond to your queries on a day-to-day basis or maybe alternative days. So you decide it according to the topic, nature of the students and your convenience and many other factors. But you need to clearly mention, and once you have given a promise, you need to keep it. So students should understand that this person is punctual, this person is very strict with his own standards, so we also need to maintain our standards. And there are various ways to manage the behavior. If you are using certain learning management platforms, so what we say, learning management softwares are there, or learning management platforms are there. Here in our institute, we are using Moodle platform to conduct online classes and all. So the one beauty is there, we are making an assignment. So whatever may be the assignment, there will be an end date or a cut-off date to submit. After the cut-off date, the system won't take the assignment. You have a lot of options are there. So like that, you also, if your college is providing or your university is providing such platforms, then you can make use of such platforms, and then that platform itself will be helpful to regulate and manage the behavior of the students up to a great extent. But what is important, students also may be using all these things in the first time. So the initial few cases, maybe few sessions or few assignments, they may not be able to do it in time. So don't be so strict with. You need to encourage them and you need to make them acquainted in all these things, and you need to clearly communicate them, this is what, that's what, and you can give them one or two chances. Nothing wrong with that. So use such kind of platforms, so there are cut-off points and all for submission of the assignments. Your preparation of the class itself act as a catalyst or act as an important factor in managing the behavior of the students. Students may be able to get a lot of things which you are going to teach in the online. So they have access to various online classes on similar topic or the same topic by other faculty members, maybe from prestigious institutes of the world, around the world. So you need not copy that. You go with your uniqueness. You go and present it, and you are not competing with anyone else. You may also working with limited capacity or resources. So this is another thing I just want to communicate to my colleagues, teacher colleagues. So we are also working with very limited resources. We may be recording our videos with our mobile phones with very limited resources and all. So if we are comparing our video with something which is recorded in a very much highly sophisticated studio after taking some 4 or 5 hours or a day long shooting and all, then we will be frustrated. Don't get frustrated. We are also change agents, and we are heroes and heroines. Now we are with very limited time and resources, we are trying to make a paradigm shift in teaching learning process. So we have to be proud of ourselves. Whatever pitfalls are there, whatever drawbacks are there, we are real heroes and heroines. So you need to prepare. You have to have the mastery over the content and try to be unique or try to be creative in delivering the content. So that itself will act as a factor which will motivate the students, and through that motivation we can manage and regulate the behavior of the student. So usually many queries are coming related to the attendance. How will we know that whether students are attending or not? So the era is approaching, or the new era, the present era. Employers are not looking for certificates only. Employers are looking for certificate plus real skill and ability of the prospective employee or the person who is looking for an employment. So in the beginning itself, you need to tell very clearly to your students, all students you need to communicate. If they are not coming properly, even you can make use of the personal email and send mails to them. Tell very clearly, if you are attending the class, I am not a loser, the teacher is not a loser, but the loser may be the student. Because what will happen? They may be skipping, they may be thinking that if online exam also we can make proxy or we can make copy, etc., etc., we will get the mark pass, etc., like that. But that is not the case. Online teaching learning process, the students are responsible for their acquisition of knowledge and skills, not the teacher. The teacher is an instrument. So you need to very clearly tell that I won't bother even. If you are coming or if you are seeing all these things, that's fine. This is one thing. Second thing, if you are like the conventional teaching method, you are very keen to all of this, then you can make some strategy to make their attendance and all. So for that, again, some kind of learning management systems are there. So in the learning management systems, you can check the login, logout activity reports of the students who enroll for your courses and all. This may vary from one platform to another platform. So even you do not worry, you make your questions at the end for evaluation in such a way that those who have read, those who have worked extra, those who attended the classes only can think and answer that questions. Again, your creativity that matters while framing the questions. So we are not simply going with some kind of multiple choice questions, or we need not go with such kind of very simple questions and all, but instead you need to create certain questions which will really thought-provoking, which requires analytical ability, which requires critical thinking ability of the students, and they need to draft, then only they will get it. And this you can foster through your various sessions. You can ask the students to do some review of some article or some material which you are giving them and submit the review with certain specifications you can give, submit within the stipulated time and or maybe in the initial phases and all. So the students will be acquainted with the way you are expecting and the way you may be framing the questions, etc., etc. So that itself will act as a regulator for the behavior. So after some time, Those who are attending will tell those who are usually absent, this particular teacher's class is really amazing. We are getting new insight through the classes. So how he is delivering, how he is presenting, how much control he is having over the, or mastery he is having over the subject which he is teaching, or the particular part which the teacher is teaching, etc. like that. So it's our responsibility to maintain such kind of interest and motivation, and that again act as the regulator for managing the behavior. So then there are various other things are there like that. So you need to pace your sessions. Pacing is very important. I have seen certain video classes, online classes and all. There the teacher is continuously lecturing for 2 hours, 3 hours, and within 2 or 3 videos their entire course is over. This is not the right way in online teaching learning process. Maximum screen time you are supposed to spend for a healthy individual, its maximum is 6 hours. You should not have a screen time more than 6 hours. And continuously in front of the online, it's better some after 10 minutes your attention span will lose in online. Now you are listening my video, many of the members might have lost interest. These are all those things that presenter is talking, we may be knowing in a much better way. So now almost 20 minutes are there, your focus might have gone. So if we have this issue, then what about our students? So you pace your entire sessions, as well as you pace each session, a session of half an hour. You pace it like that. After 5 minutes, 10 minutes, some kind of questions you can ask, some kind of activity you can give. Let them do the activity for 2-3 minutes, then let them come back to the session. So it will be really funny, it will be really act like an energizer, and your session will be very interesting. So that will be, when people are bored, definitely they will be distracted, they will engage in something else like that, especially in an online teaching learning process. Like if you're this video which you are viewing, if you lost interest, you may be attending something else, video may be playing, but you may be engaged with some other activity if it is boring. So we should not make our students boring. So again, use our creativity to make, after some 7-10 minutes, you give one activity, or you ask some questions, some kind of brainstorming sessions, some kind of thought-provoking thing, or you put a puzzle, or you can give a case study. It's all up to you, and depending on the subject and its nature. So this all you can experiment. Then another important thing is there. So online teaching, in conventional teaching, usually most of the teachers are not fostering collaborative learning, cooperative learning, collective learning and all. So but in online teaching learning process, it's a must. So you can create some groups of few students, a proper balanced group and all you can make, and let the group work together for certain activity. Or even you can create a kind of, what we say, peers, or like some pairs. 2 students will be there in a pair, and they will be given some activity. Let them work together, collaborate together, and submit the particular work which you are assigning to them. So this will be really interesting for the students. Majority it will be really interesting. So the group will be working, they will be sharing their collective effort, and it will indirectly fostering collaboration among the students too. So the future is about collaboration, whether it is about faculty members, whether it is for the students, whether it is for any type of job, collaborative work is going to happen. So let our online class also foster collaboration among the students by the creation of peer groups, by the creation of pairs, by the creation of some other groups for certain works. Frequently give small projects to the students, frequently give assignments to them, let them work after the class too. Frequently give puzzles or give case studies or certain kinds of what's it, thematic work, etc. to the students. Let them do it, let them submit it. So it will be really help us to manage the behavior of the students in a positive way. So if such kind of activities are there, they will be very much interested and they may eagerly waiting for your class. So it's up to you, it's in your hands. So then you need to make, it's a must for online class, you need to have discussion forums. And discussion forums, you need to encourage each and every student after a session. Each and every student they have to post at least one query, whatever it is. You make it as a must initially. They have to respond and they have to raise at least one query in the discussion forum. And in the discussion forum, you need not respond for each and every query. You wait for some time, let some other students, if they are responding to the query of another one, that's fine, you can endorse that later. If no one is responding, then you can respond to query and make the discussion forum very active. There is no time limit for it, and this will be really, really interesting. And through that, the students also will learn a lot. Those who are asking, those who are responding will learn a lot. Then if you have the classes of one particular paper or the course, and a course if you are teaching, you may have various sessions, half an hour sessions or 1 hour sessions, usually half an hour sessions, you may have various sessions. So when you are starting the sessions, you give one introduction of that session, the introductory part, you make the review or revision, a small short revision of the previous thing, or you can make it as a kind of question answer session if possibility is there. Then you deliver the content for today's class. At the end, you have a conclusion for few minutes or 1 or 2 minutes. You make your conclusionary remark of that day's session. And again, initially I have pointed out, you give the students prior what topic you are going to talk about. Then students need to maintain certain etiquette and all. They have to respond, they have to have good manners, etc. That also you can provide them. So that will also act as a regulator for managing their behavior. So students can be provided with reference material. It may be test material, it may be test books, it may be journal articles, it may be PDFs, it may be some links, it may be videos, audio clips, whatever way you can make use of. But you be careful about the copyright violation and all. So that you need to. Then you need to think from the students' part also. They may have problem with the bandwidth, problem with the instrument, etc., etc. So they may not be in a position to respond properly and all. So be human, always respect them and be in a cordial and warm relation with them. So that itself will act as a major factor for managing their behavior. So you ask them to regulate their social media usage and all during while they are watching their videos and all, especially if it's a live session and all. And you ask them to mute their notifications, etc., etc. It will act as a distractor. So you ask them to do it. Then you ask the students to maintain some physical activity also after the sessions and all, because they are spending more time online. After online classes and all, they have to spend a lot of time offline with their friends, family members and all. And if possible, after some 5-10 minutes, they can have a small walk, or they can just close their eyes, etc., etc., like that. That also you can make use of. Then praise and reward is one of the most important thing which can motivate and which can regulate the behavior of any individual. So please make use of praise for good work, good effort, etc. It may not be the best thing, but the students, they may be trying the first time with their limited facilities, so you need to appreciate it. That will act as a motivator and that will regulate the behavior of the students. You can give certain rewards, not material rewards and all, but instead, like the nursery kids, they are getting some stars and all, like some kind of token you can give, or some kind of online badges you can give for good behavior and effective behavior, a well-behaved person and all. That will definitely regulate their behavior. So that you can set and that you can tell in the beginning itself. No need to wait for some sessions or something to happen. So that you can do. Then you give what we say, when you are giving assignments and all, you give moderately challenging assignments and all in the beginning. You can give reviews, you can give assignments of any type, even you can give small projects. Small project is always better. You can give to some groups. Let the groups do that work. So this is another important thing. Then one more thing is there, if you are making use of the slides, the teachers, don't make use of a lot of slides. It will be really boring. Students will be really get distracted. They may not be listening what you are talking at all. Instead, they will simply look on the slides. And only very limited slides. If it is necessary, if it is essential, then only you need to make use of the slides. Otherwise, don't make use of the slides. If you are making use of the slides, make sure that there is no spelling mistake, there is no controversial things on the slide. So please make use of it. You give regular feedback to the students. This is very important in online classes. Since you are not having a face-to-face contact with the students, you need to give feedback to the students, either general feedback to the group, entire group and all the students, or you can give individual feedback also. It depends on the matter which you are dealing, etc., etc. You decide. But giving that feedback is very important. That will make them lively. Then, so another thing is like that you ask the students to make their own notes, not only while listening your classes. You ask them to, you provide the materials if possible prior. You inform them the sessions, which session you are going to handle, that prior information you give. Ask them to read the materials which you have provided and make their own notes. And you ask them to make their own notes during the session, and even after the session they can make some notes. If they have any query while making such notes, they can ask it at any time in the discussion forum or in the chat box, or even directly it can be sent to your mail ID, whatever way. You foster it. So taking notes and all, that will enhance interest, that will motivate the students, and they will feel that they are the authors of their work. That feeling of ownership is very important. The student, they have to feel that they are the owners of their work. So this is another important aspect to manage the behavior of the students. So since the time is very limited, I'm winding up here. I have told very few points only, and the crux is this: maintain the interest of the students, foster motivation, let the students be engaged with the online modality, let the activities be little more creative and all, maintain a very cordial teacher-student relationship, and communicate properly. That's very clear. You need to communicate using your verbal, paraverbal and non-verbal languages, especially your body language and all. And you need to communicate properly through announcements. You give prior information about your classes, and you need to be available there for feedback, comments, discussion forums, for clarifying the queries, etc. at any time. Or if some particular time, inform them, I'm not available on this particular day or this time, from this time to this time, but definitely I will respond to your queries and all within this particular period of time, like that. So this type of open communication, all these are the keys to manage the behavior of the students. So by this, I'm making an end of this presentation on behavior management during these post-COVID online classes and all. And at this juncture, I really want to express my gratitude to all of you for patiently viewing my session. Also, I want to express my sincere gratitude to the organizers for providing me for an opportunity to interact with all of you. And I also want to appreciate the organizers, all the individuals behind the organizing this big event, because this is such an event which is the need of the hour. So I'm wishing all the best to all of you. Thank you very much.